Welcome to Audio Carnage Podcast. Today we have a very special episode. We got Malconstruct on. Guys, go ahead and tell everybody who you are and what you do in the band.
Hey, my name's Garrett. I'm the vocalist and guitarist.
My name's Mark. I play guitar.
Aiden, drums.
Lyric, bassist.
So guys, when did this band originally form?
So,
I know y'all been together for quite some
me
time.
and Aiden were playing together before Malconstruct. We had a band before this. I think it was about 2010, summer 2010 that we started Malconstruct, and then that's when we brought Mark in. So we did that. We've been doing that since really.
How old are y'all?
Right now?
Yeah, currently.
27, I think. No. Yeah.
26.
So about how old were you whenever y'all met?
Oh,
Teenagers.
Or whenever,
Yeah,
well, I mean whenever Malconstruct started forming.
we were like, it was sophomore year of high school, I want to say. End of sophomore, beginning of junior maybe. So we would have been like 14 or so.
Yeah, the first tracks were actually written in 2012. In 2010 was when we started Leviathan's Grace, which is our first band. That was a ton of fun, big learning experience. First successful songs that we could play top to bottom and play live. And we were noodling around before that, but 2012 we wrote Death of a God and the Hunter. And the first album came out in 2013. So the band, I'd say, started in 2012. We kind of knew what we were trying to do by that point, but it was like a year of like, what do we want to do? It's got to be cool.
And I know y'all had the same lineup pretty much around the same time. Chris is no longer with y'all with the group, but how long have y'all known Lyric?
Since today for me.
Or rather, how did y'all meet Lyric?
Yeah. You want to take this one?
Yeah, it was actually through my dad. My dad knew Bradley, which is a close friend of...
Yeah, he was here earlier today.
Yeah, he was here earlier today. He was a close friend of the Circle, and they actually were in a Guns N' Roses tribute band together. And my dad played Axl, and Bradley was the drummer. I forget his name, but yeah, that's basically how I met Aiden, because...
how long ago was this?
I met you when I was 17.
Oh, so it has been a minute.
It was in like 2013, 2014?
Yeah, it was 2013, so I had 17, 18. I had actually was asked to fill in for... Lyric had a band at the time called Psychroptic that would do...
No, it was Cyclops.
Cyclops, my bad.
I was about to say, you were in Psychroptic?
Psychroptic's a big band.
We should have been talking about this sooner.
Which they're actually sick. Psychroptic. I actually saw them for the first time right before COVID, and that was fucking memorable. That is why that popped right out. But, yeah, dude, they asked me to fill in. We had a ton of fun. We played a gig at the Rail Club, and fucking Lyric's bass playing is extremely impressive. It's just
for those that don't know, this was actually the first time y'all actually played in a room together. Now, these guys have been playing forever, but this is the collective.
Yeah.
Now, granted, y'all, since I've known y'all have been the masters of practicing to a click and practicing out of the room of each other. In fact, I would say y'all are the inspiration.
It was a requirement.
I have a question on this list that's, do you prefer writing in the studio or in the room? And y'all are like the epitome of the perfect example of writing in the studio, because while y'all would love to write in the room if you could, meaning just jamming it out, most of the time y'all didn't have, because whenever he was up here, you were down there, and it's just chaotic for the writing process. So what y'all have always been able to pull off every single time I've seen y'all live is an amazing feat, considering you don't get to be able to just have the regular week-to-week practice. Y'all rely heavily on each other's ability to actually practice on your own. That's a fucking
we all really like our instruments, so that's kind of the big thing that allows the whole bit is just I love playing drums. This guy has a guitar in his hand pretty much all the time. Garrett is an audio engineer, so he's always working on music even if he's not playing, and then Lyric is just extremely proficient, so it does allow us to kind of work that way.
Yeah, we all spend time outside of actual band practice, so to speak, doing what we need to do to be proficient and lock into our instruments. So when we get back together, it's not like we missed a step or anything.
Yeah, y'all happen. Also, it helps that you have a drummer that is very proficient at playing to a click, because essentially y'all are almost playing the exact same tempos all the time. Like, like that's the goal, is pretty much every time, which isn't something every band does. Like, that's a skill that a drummer, like, having in your back pocket is I mean, you know how valuable you are as a drummer, so.
It has basically been our personal metronome for close to a decade now.
I mean,
so
that
it works out.
We don't have headphone monitors, so not everybody can hear the click yet.
But yeah, Avion systems are
just trust
expensive.
They are so expensive.
I am working on getting those,
so many times, and every time we're just like, we'll just keep doing what we're doing.
Which honestly, like,
maybe next year.
A bass following the drummer and the guitars following the bass and drums, like that's how it can be done. This is a perfect setup of how, if you have a drummer who can follow what they need to, y'all can all be lined up and be perfect. Like, every fucking set or every fucking tune that was played during your set today was just phenomenal.
Thanks, man.
So, where is everybody originally from?
Let's see. I guess we all pretty much grew up in Flower Mound or like Louisville area. That's pretty much where I've been at since I moved around. And I know Mark's probably traveled one of the most.
Yeah, I was born in Ohio, and I grew up for a bit in Alabama, and then moved out to Flower Mound. And Garrett and I met in middle school, and then Aiden and I met in high school. Lyric and I met today, and
yeah, we go back to this.
And I moved to Austin after freshman year of high school. So for basically all of us being a band, I'd been in Austin, but for most of that time, it was like everyone else was in the DFW area. But yeah, I've moved around just a few times, but I call Austin home now.
Same old dude, grew up in DFW, born in St. Louis. We moved to Louisville short after, and then we moved to Flower Mound short after, and that's where I met these guys, Flower Mound High School.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm actually from Seattle, Washington. So I actually was born in Seattle, and then we lived there my real toddler years, age up until I was 3 years old. Mm-hmm. And then we ended up moving to LA, and I actually lived in Burbank and somewhere in the Orange County area, and we ended up moving.
Don't freak out, there's a centipede on you.
Is there?
Really? We have a centipede in the house?
Got it.
Wow.
Killed it.
Fucking metal.
Death.
Get out of here.
Interesting.
Yeah, dude.
Anyways, and then we moved to Oklahoma and then Texas.
Nice.
And I've been here for about 12 years now. So.
Okay.
Hell yeah, man.
How old are you now?
23.
Okay. So, what would you say your favorite local venue is? Since you're partly Austin boys, or we can say Austin, DFW, Denton kind of area, and this does not apply to the future question, which will be, what's your favorite house venue that existed?
Nice.
That's a separate question.
I think I know the answer to this question. I have to say Curtain Club, because Curtain Club
Such a
was
good place.
personally responsible for a lot of the development in this band.
Yeah.
Other than their stage is too high to jump off, it'll fuck your back up.
That you probably will.
Never
Yeah,
tried.
dude, if you tried to jump off,
Yes,
you
I did.
probably hurt yourself. Okay.
I believe that.
I smacked my bass, the headstock of my bass into another member of a band that was right at the front. I hit 4 people in this situation. As I came down, I hit one person with the headstock of my bed, or a headstock of my bass. As I was coming down and landing,
Dude.
as I was coming back up, I hit somebody with a headstock of my bass as I was coming back up from the recoil. And then as I was coming back, down with my body on the stabilization, I headbutted another fucking person.
So you just comboed the shit.
Yeah. Fortunately, each 3 of them were all in bands that were playing that night. They were all 3 different members of different bands, but so they all were into the moment. But yeah, Curtain Club's hype is a very good fall, but they have such a good sound system, such a good crew. Now, granted, R.I.P. They're dead, right?
Right now, I don't know. I mean, that space will always be leased out, but for a lot of time that we were affiliated with them, the owner of Curtain Club actually really personally enjoyed Malconstruct, and he loved having us on. He loved the live performances, and it got to where he would bring us out quite frequently, like for larger shows, smaller shows, like all kinds of stuff. And even on like slow nights, like he would pay us out of pocket, and he would always just be like,
"That's a good promoter."
He would be like, "I love Malconstruct." Like, you guys,
I'm on that train. I fucking love Malconstruct.
Yeah.
I am first and foremost a fan, and then secondly, y'all's friend.
Crazy.
Like, I love y'all as friends, but like I fucking love y'all as a band.
Dude, he'd invite us up to his office.
Probably my favorite band I've met in the past 10
and it was
years,
just
or-
like,
or heard.
dude, he really cared about what we were doing, and we were really young at the time too. You know, we were 17, 18 when we started messing with them, and he kept us as regulars basically at that venue until we were about 20, 21, you know, so it was enough that it just really helped us
Also
start.
being able to play at that age in a Dallas
great venue,
like, because
man.
y'all
It
technically,
just-
there's a lot of
Curtain Club
venues that
was a
would not
big
let y'all
deal
in.
to us, yeah.
But they hooked it up for sure.
So, other than Curtain Club, anybody got any that we want to throw in?
I was gonna say we haven't played here, but maybe you have like Trees.
Yeah,
Trees is so good.
Wonderful, man.
I'm happy to be able to say that I got to play there. That was
Nice.
That's one of those stage, like we got to play as Lament there, and just being on that stage and be like, the history.
Oh, I filmed that show.
Yeah, you were there.
I filmed it. I filmed the whole thing.
It's such a good show.
Yeah,
I'm a
that
big
was.
fan of the Mohawk in Austin. It's a great venue.
banger.
It's got 2 levels. It's just a nice like outdoor. It does have an indoor portion. I actually saw Orville Peck there. He was phenomenal. But yeah, I saw Cannibal Corpse at the outside venue. I mean, it's a great spot. I really like that place. Yeah, that'd be mine.
My favorite venue right now, honestly, is probably Haltom Theater.
You know, we have been playing there since they basically opened with what the system that they've been doing. And those guys, while the location's a little out of the way,
Yeah.
they are doing their damnedest to like be supportive of the local scene.
They are.
But also they're doing their damnedest to pull big acts because they have the space.
Yeah.
They can do it. They could be able to have a legit like large crowd, like legit. Like the reason they never had to stop shows during COVID is because their 25% capacity is like 250 people. Like it's crazy how nice of a place that is. Now it's just a matter of like movement. I do think that the fact that they've been a consistent place throughout all this, they are going to be a developing location that's just like booming. And
Yeah.
I like last time I was there, they had a fucking sign for Twisted's gonna be there. I was like, I kind of want to go see Twisted in Haltom City.
Yeah, like they have a little restaurant that the owner, his wife, actually cooks in there.
Oh yeah, so home cooking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like Mexican food, so it's like taco or there's tacos.
I do enjoy Haltom. I would argue that would fall into the super local venue aspect, but that's just because like it's because they're so supportive of the small band scene. Like they really are like, I don't care who you are, let's play. If you got something to showcase, let's showcase. And that's a wonderful thing in this.
It's a fun attitude to have,
Well,
man. I
yeah.
feel like
Well,
they go
like
a long ways.
we're all like old enough to have been around the scene where it was fucking. Oh, you gotta pay ticket. You gotta buy tickets.
Dog
You gotta sell
shit.
tickets to play.
my
You didn't sell 50 tickets.
Well,
Well,
they
it's
didn't
coming
sell
out of your end.
resale.
Oh,
That's
you didn't make enough
It's a
money.
good point because Malconstruct functions the way it does for that reason in a lot of ways. When we were first starting, it was pay to
It was
play.
everywhere.
It was fucking pay to play everywhere.
It was disgusting.
And we were like, hey,
Promoters,
I'll
you're
shell out
fucking
some money for
disgusting.
my music, but I want to put it towards mixing. I want to put it towards mastering. I want to put it towards like studio
Well,
gear and fucking sounding badass. Like, I
Playing,
wanna spend on
performing should
tickets.
be a profitable thing. At the
Right.
very least, you should break even and maybe catch a buzz for your show. Mm-hmm. Like at the
So, I don't know. I mean,
it's kind of like a Deep Elm show, like Curtain Club. They gave you drink tickets.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Haltom City,
fucking
they give you drink
kids, they
tickets.
really get
Like you might not get paid, but you will at least be able to go have a fun night, and it makes this work that you're willing to put in a little bit more worth it.
For sure.
The work on the back end though just like helps so much more when it comes to the live shows because you have good material, well recorded ideally to put out, so people already know like what to expect from you. So that alone is going to hook people in, and
which Malconstruct's one of the best fucking mixed and mastered albums that I've listened to. Mr. Hashtag Garrett Webb for hire. He's prostituting himself both sexually and audio engineering.
not sexually, but if you want to make a record, I'll hook you up.
This means you gotta pay more for the sexual stuff.
A lot.
Alright,
You
so
can't afford it.
what would you say the best concert that you've ever been to? Bezos could afford it. You mean to tell me that you wouldn't be like, Bezos is like, hey, I'll fuck you. And you're like, no. He's like,
It's a no for me.
Alright, so best concert you've ever been to.
Wow.
That's a really tough one.
I mean, if you have to give a couple answers, like, that's fine, but like...
I would say in terms of like how the band sounded, not necessarily the setting, but was Radiohead at ACL. It wasn't that great because ACL, a lot of people just talk through the, the shows or whatever. It's a festival. You can't control that. But the band sounded phenomenal. And I'm a huge Radiohead fan, so that was a great
what year was
concert.
it?
Oof, I do not remember.
Do you remember how old you were?
Man, I was probably like 20, 21, somewhere around. I think I was still in college when I saw this show, so yeah, it was great.
Anybody else got it?
Off the top of my head, I saw Bad Bad Not Good a couple years ago,
Ooh.
and that was insane.
Nice.
Dude. It was
That's gotta
just,
be cool.
They improvise a lot on their songs. They really chop up the original structures. They'll speed them up, slow them down, really just have fun with it. And they have a really organic approach, but man, it was just so, they just kept feeding off the crowd. If the crowd seemed low energy, they would like pull the energy back, but if the crowd would get hyped up, they would push it forward harder, and like
Nice.
the music would like slinky like that, and it was just a really impactful show. And it was packed. That was at Trees. I think that was like, when was that? That was probably 2018. It was 2018 for sure. But man, that was a fucking blast of the night. Probably the best show I've ever seen in
I
person.
think one of my most memorable is probably seeing Lamb of God when they were touring for Wrath.
Yes.
They were all just like on it, and
Ooh.
it was such a good album.
Yeah.
But we got to see a bunch of cool acts there too.
Yeah.
Like, a bunch of like the new metal, metalcore stuff.
Bodum was there.
Oh, Bodum's so good. I'm so happy that I got to see them.
It was
Dude,
a
I did
bunch of-
not.
It was a
man.
diverse
Rest in
set.
peace.
I got to see them like 4 times, and I like the first time I was in awe, but like by the 4th time I was like, oh well, I've seen them multiple times. Now I'm just like thankful for every fucking show because they pretty much sound studio live almost always.
Yeah.
Almost always. There was like one set that it wasn't on them. It was like it was at a JEXA or Super Pages, whatever. But like there was a.
Was it at Verizon Wireless Theater?
No, it was at the JEXA Super Pages.
Okay,
It was JEXA at one point. Smirnoff Center at one point.
Yeah, it was like Heineken.
But
or something.
yeah, I couldn't tell you
They
what
change
it
them
was.
every
So the reason that didn't sound
place is
good
fun.
at this
I
one
love
is
that
because
place.
there was like about a 4-second delay between the audio that you could hear from the stage
No.
and the PA that was playing for the line.
Fuck.
And so you were like, it was like,
Yeah.
living deadbeat, living deadbeat, and it just for the whole fucking thing. And I was just like, oh my god. But every other one, it was just like, these guys are fucking studio musicians to the best.
No.
Now, see, I never got to see them Lamb of God. That would have been fucking killer.
I saw Lamb of God. I saw Lamb of God with Slipknot a couple years ago.
Actually, I was at that show.
Yes, dude. I was yelling that shit. It blew my voice right out at that show.
Yeah. We were
My
in
band-
middle school. We went hard as middle schoolers. to that.
My band members give me shit for loving Slipknot as much as I do, but I fucking
Hey man,
love
that's a good
Slipknot.
band. That's a good band.
I like Slipknot.
Who else can have that many members and success?
That's really what I'm most
Blue
interested
Man
in. Is there? Well,
Blue
there.
Man
Right.
Group.
I mean,
Well,
there's a lot.
but let's be honest. You cannot say that Blue Man Group is as angry as Slipknot.
Yeah, you don't know them.
You know what? That's actually they're sitting there like this fucking paint. I fucking hate this paint.
Oh my god.
Mary?
Is there gonna be a behind
Top
the
show?
music documentary?
Best concert.
I was thinking one of the best ones that I've seen, because I'm a big Primus fan. Is,
Oh, yes.
Primus in 3D.
Oh,
That was a
dude.
cool fucking show.
I've only seen
That's
Primus
sick.
once. I wanted to
I've
say.
seen them 9 times.
Oh yeah. I actually saw Primus before I ever knew who Primus was. So
Oh,
seeing
that
them
would've been
live
amazing.
first, but that's I'll say like it's kind of like for somebody who doesn't like metal. If you want to get them into metal, give them some earplugs and take them to a metal show. Like let them see the fucking energy. Now that's what it was like with that Primus show. It was like, holy shit, what is this?
Yeah. Yeah, they're a different breed for sure.
What year was this?
I want to say like 2014, I think. 2014, I think so. Because what they did was, they called it, anytime they do like a 2-hour show, they call it an evening with Primus.
Oh yeah, no, I know. I've seen those that they do.
Yeah, and
Oh shit, I need to catch one of those.
like what they would do is play like a bunch of their hits, like maybe like 9 or 10 songs, like of all the ones that you know.
Yeah.
Jerry was a race car driver.
Yeah, all the ones that they demand.
Yeah, Southbound Pachyderm, stuff like that, and then they'll take like a 20-minute break and play like episodes of Popeye, like the old episodes of Popeye, and then they'll come back and play an entire album from beginning to finish. And it's pretty awesome to see that.
Sorry, our luthier just came in. He has work to do. Joseph Cowden, if you're looking for guitar work, he's dope. So everybody's upstairs, buddy. So our alarm went off. So let's talk about the songs. Song 1 was Nick Thimeron, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so Nick Thimeron is the title track off of y'all's album. Yet the only reason I'm talking about this instead of y'all is because this is my fucking favorite album that I've heard in the past 10 years. I fucking love it. Is there any like relevant notes about the recording or anything that y'all like specific about this song that y'all want to bring up before we move on to the next song?
Let's see. Me and Aiden recorded drums for that album together at a local studio, 50/50 Studios.
What year did this release?
This was 2018, and it was, what was it? 2016?
Yeah, we tracked in 2016. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it was like end of 2016 we tracked drums, and that was the start of the whole process. Of course, we were all in school at this time, and we just had to do what we had to do to make it happen, as far as like tracking on our own, tracking together. So it's probably the hardest song, one of the hardest that we have to play. But
It is definitely a fucking hard song. That motherfucker is a banger.
But we I don't know, I guess it's a good representation of how we wanted to step it up from our last album, because that's kind of, we like to make the next one better than the one before it. So not just for our own satisfaction, but it's cool to like show people like, hey, we've gotten like this much better. Or whatever.
Yeah, the progress.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, like musicians tell a story, and it's cool to see the story as like while an album is a story in itself. The story also is the series of the albums too. It's like, the progression of the band is really like what the best part about watching and having a favorite band is like being able to watch as they change and grow and evolve.
Yeah.
See, and that's worth mentioning that my favorite bands did that. My favorite bands stuck together, and maybe their first album was horrible, like so
Maybe
bad,
something
and
else.
then they become this awesome band, and it's the same members, and those are the stories that really excite me and draw me back to certain bands over and over and over again. And I think that's like, we kind of all had that in common, where we had a lot of similar favorite bands, of course, and many of which were, long-standing relationships where those bands were together for a long time, and the albums told a story. So that's kind of where that comes from, where we want to keep that same thing going because it's cool,
Oh yeah,
I like that.
Well, y'all are a band that y'all can rely on each other, and it shows whenever you play, because y'all don't get together, as we've talked about, like often be able to practice as a band, which some bands get to do that
When we get together,
week.
it's writing, finishing,
but
discussing.
It's like very precise. Like y'all are precise. Every time I've seen y'all, it's like a machine working, and it's a fucking wonderful thing. So, what is song 2? Because that's what we're about to drop
Elegy of
into.
Illumination. It's my favorite track.
I was talking. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. You said,
No, I know. I'm saying I didn't hear you because I was talking.
oh,
go ahead.
Elegy of Illumination. That's
Elegy
the
of
second
Illumination.
song. Yes.
Any notes about that one?
Let's see.
Tempo changes.
Yeah. I think it's one of the first songs we did tempo changes in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a slowdown, and I think there's a hard tempo change somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's just the slowdown, but man, yeah, it's good to work that one up.
Yeah, it was weird. It was awkward at first.
Yeah. We felt it out and then kind of put it to the grid so we could actually record it. But
Grid helps.
Eventually, yeah.
definitely one of the favorites because it's just like real fast paced and just a bouncy song to play, especially live.
That was one of the first songs. Garrett's really good at programming drums, and he always comes up with cool parts. But Elegy was the first time he had given me a song that sounded so fucking cool that I really didn't change anything, like at all. I mean, I had some fills and whatnot, but I really stuck to like the basic beats that he gave me because the song was so powerful as is. I was like, this doesn't need really any embellishments. Like, this needs to be like just a strong song where every note's super decisive and there's no, I don't want to say there's no feel, but
Well, no, he
like-
just gave you the feel that he wrote
It
it
was perfect.
Which also that will come from working together for so long, like, because I'm sure your drum programming has slowly evolved into like
He's programmed
more.
some
It's
fills
like
that I've
the
played
stuff that you
before.
do
For sure,
is
I'll let you
yeah,
know.
it's just like, well, I know what Aiden's gonna do here,
Yeah.
and if it's not like perfectly what you're gonna do, it's like what you would be like, oh no, I know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Like, and that's one thing that's perfect about y'all's distant practice. Because not every band can pull off what y'all are pulling off. Alright, so Elegy?
Mm-hmm.
Elegy of Illumination is the next track. We will be right back. You're still listening to Malconstruct.
I don't feel
Welcome back to Audio Carnage podcast. So that was, I'm drawing a blank now. What song was that?
Elegy of Illumination.
Elegy of Illumination.
That's the one.
So, what would you say your dream venue would be to play? I've gotten a lot of the Madison Square Garden. If you can get past that, or say something a little more creative than that, my personal one, Red Rocks.
I was gonna say Red Rocks, man.
Red Rocks.
That would be
Something
mine.
outside would be really badass.
Red Rocks is the ideal outdoor
honestly, I
amphitheater.
think I can agree to that too. I've never been a big venue guy. I see myself I don't do that necessarily, but yeah. So that's why a venue doesn't come to mind.
Well, also Jexa falls in because I've seen so
played
many
at
bands.
Jexa.
Oh, you got to play at the main
the
stage.
sound sucked, and
Well, I can
couldn't
imagine it
hear
sucks.
the rest of the
I would
bands,
like to play
and I was
Jexa
just
packed.
guessing, and I was hoping that everybody could play to me comfortably. I was like, I can't hear you, so hopefully you can
Who'd
hear
you play
me.
with at Jexa?
Who did I play with? It was a fucking side stage. It was but it was horrible, dude.
Well,
It was
that's what I'm saying is I want to play Jexa main
was-
stage.
yeah.
Full with a packed crowd. With a packed crowd.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that
It
with
goes
just
both ways
with
there.
just my with Bill would just be like, yeah.
We played those shows.
I mean,
You can have a good time,
I love
man.
you, Bill. I'm not mad. I'm happy you
Bill,
were
God
there.
bless you.
Yeah, I'm so happy that I don't have any fans named Bill. I don't have any
If
fans.
you do-
Just like I don't have any viewers.
Now he knows.
All right.
Sorry, Bill.
Anybody else got venue?
Man, they brought up a good point. Red Rocks would be a good one. But when I was like,
Let the mountains hear it.
for whatever reason, my dad he played the Whiskey a Go Go, and that was
Whiskey a Go-Go would be good. That's a good one.
that was one of his dream venues to play, and he actually got to play at the Whiskey, and
Damn.
I've always wanted to as well, just because.
Yeah, no, that's a good pool.
Yeah.
Actually, that's the first time that one's been pooled, but that's like a
Yeah.
perfect.
No kidding.
All right. So, what other bands have y'all been in? So this list can be extensive. If you have a very extensive list, then just summarize it with the 3 that you feel like are the most prominent or whatever. If you only have 1, that's fine. But if you have more than 3, make it 3.
I guess me and Aiden were in Leviathan's Grace before this, and then I filled in for Lament Configuration.
That is true. He is the only other motherfucker who played guitar since Krishna was in and out of being able to be. The viewers know Krishna. He is the roommate who also is involved with Warlord Radio podcast. Talented guy. It's annoying that he's constantly like, hey, I might have to leave. But now he's back for permanent.
Nice.
If I have to break his knees,
I don't keep someone in one place.
it'll at least bury you in debt in America.
Here, here.
Alright, so Aiden, you got any other bands that you want? I know you have a long list, but
Yeah, so I do session work. I started developing my home studio at the age of 16 and was able to comfortably record for people by the age of 17. From there you go to other people's studios and such. I've played in 68 projects
goddamn.
since I started playing drums 10 years ago.
You know what that means? Me and you gotta make a project and it's just called 69.
69, dude. Someone needs to come around.
Nice. Well, yeah, your 69th project and we're just gonna make, I don't know what it might be some funk soul pop. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. And all that is super fun, just great learning experiences. As far as bands that I've fully joined, I'm actually pretty picky about that. I'm pretty strict to only playing with Malconstruct as a permanent project. But I joined Posiville, which is a surf rock punk band. I just love the music, man. It really strikes a chord with how I was when I was in first grade. I have this attitude with Posiville where it's if I heard this when I was in second grade, I'd be so excited. And so that's why I play for that band. That's the only band I've joined since Malconstruct.
You gotta get them on.
And Posiville will probably play here eventually.
Quick plug.
Good.
Let's see. My very first band that actually played live shows. Well, I actually had a band before that. It was actually a band that I got together with for my 7th grade talent show. My buddies were in 8th grade, but I was in 7th grade, and we actually played the talent show, and we won first place or whatever. And then the principal actually came to us and asked us if we could play the last day of school, and the name of that band was Peach Cobbler.
Oh yes, hell yeah!
So that was that band.
That's actually like that is a better name than it fucking should be. Dude.
Right.
That's
There's a ring to
that's like
solid
that's like she's my cherry pie on fucking 10 times. Like you need to have a song just called "Eat 'Em Up."
Dude, it was just it just had a ring to it. So
Sugar
that's what
Rush.
we gave. That's
Yeah, right. There's so many fucking things. That's such a good name. God.
Oh man.
yeah, there was Peach Cobbler, and then Cyclops was another one, which is
I filled in for Cyclops.
yeah, the one
Had a
he
blast.
filled in for. And my most recent one before Malconstruct now was War Beast.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I played on the third album. I was with War Beast for a good 5 years, and I played on Enter the Arena.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
It was a good one.
So, what would you say is some of your favorite media to consume? Books, TV shows, movies, video games.
Video games.
Well, no.
Yeah.
What? I was listening.
All of them.
I was listening.
All of
I was listening to the categories that fall into the media terms.
Right.
So that means give me like 3 or 4 of them. That is something that it could be a book, a video game, a movie, or 3 books, or 3 movies, or any variation.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one. The book, video game, movie, TV show. List like 3 or 4 or 5 like things that you just really enjoy consuming.
All of them. But hold up, I got more.
Hold up.
One of my favorite ones of all time is Tales of Symphonia. We co-opted that game
We
together.
finished that together. Yeah.
We clutched it. Resident Evil 4 is another favorite.
Yes.
And Neo, kind of a more recent couple games, but great games. Those are my like big 3 video games there. Books, I don't know. No Country for Old Men. That was a good one.
I actually never read that one.
It's great. It's great.
Seen the movie, and the movie was great.
The movie's brilliant.
But I can imagine usually the book's better than the movie, so I can imagine.
It's one of those cases where it's hard to say. I would, it's one of those rare cases.
Yeah,
Check it out.
What about you?
So, as far as video games, definitely like Mark mentioned Neo, and then any of the Soulsborne games.
You like punishing games.
I wouldn't put it that way.
Oh, you literally put it.
Yeah.
No. I am quoting you directly. While we were hanging out and you were teaching me about mixing and stuff, because this motherfucker's a talented mixer, and I had him come over and teach me some stuff. But you literally told me in your own words, I like punishing games. I was quoting you. I wasn't.
Okay. Well, the difficult games that challenge you, put you to the test.
Oh yeah, they're wonderful.
Yeah, so games like that are fun because
You had to pick one out of the Soulsborne and what's the other one that falls in that category? There's another one.
Bloodborne.
I said Demon Souls, Bloodborne, Dark Souls.
Soulsborne covers all that.
Okay, yeah, Souls.
It's all in there.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking that Dark Souls is the third one. There's Demon Souls, there's Dark Souls, and then there's Bloodborne. That's why I was thinking 3.
Yeah. Dude, Bloodborne has to be my favorite.
I'm a Bloodborne ass bitch myself. Definitely.
Any shows or movies that you would want to or throw in, or books?
There's lots of really awesome music documentaries on, I believe it's VH1 and HBO, like about recording studios and like the producers behind them and like all the, obviously like
I need a list from you.
Stories
like,
about all the antics that go on.
like
musicians.
I love those. Like Sound City is the one that comes to my mind. But I know that there's because VH1 did a bunch of those behind the musics and shit. But
Yeah.
I like watching those because I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like watching the engineers and shit. I'm like, where's your mixing at?
Yeah, but there's a lot of good stuff on there, especially like insights from the engineers and producers, which is super valuable. Especially, it gives you a good sense of like probably the worst of the worst stuff you might encounter.
Oh yeah. There's
It's not like working with Garrett. Garrett doesn't use guns in the studio.
Yeah, I'm not gonna fire off a couple rounds.
Shake you up a little bit, get you putting down good takes.
I mean, we're in Texas. We could get away with this.
We could. I'm really glad that we're not that way.
I want repeat customers though. I don't want to like scare people away. I want to fire off a couple of my 44 rounds off.
You know, Garrett, he keeps
big
pulling
gun.
out the rifle in the studio.
Makes you dance.
hey! I said we gotta get our adrenaline pumping. All right, so favorite instrument brand. Oh wait, actually, hold on. I'm sorry, I cut it off short. Aiden.
I'm really a deer in the headlights with these kinds of questions, man. I was not allowed to consume a lot of media growing up.
So you don't watch any shows or anything like that?
I'm super literate when it comes to those things. I really do.
YouTube
focus
channels
on,
or
I am a big YouTube channel consumer. I love that type of thing.
What's your favorite content on YouTube?
I mean,
do you like drum instructional stuff? I know you're a talented drummer, but I assume.
yeah, I do love some music instruction stuff. Anything that like kind of breaks things down for me, and that's
But any channel that you like heavily follow?
Any particular channel that will teach you things, I feel, I mean, I immediately want to list off like drummers, and so big shout out to Travis Orban, probably the most disciplined human being on the face of the earth. So following that guy's a big deal for me on YouTube. But yeah, man, I mean, for the most part, like growing up, I wasn't allowed closeness to those things. So from there, I grew an attachment to skateboarding, drawing, and eventually drumming.
Well, I mean, it does make sense because
But
whenever
now
I
have
refer
a
to you, I refer to
detachment.
you as a machine. So,
But now I have a
No emotional
detachment to where
attachment.
it's like I never grew up like consuming those types of things, so I still don't. Like I try to, and my attention span sort of gets the best of me. I'm watching Better Call Saul right now.
That's a good
that's a good
So
one. That's
rad.
that's a really
That's
good one.
fun.
Yeah.
But
See,
yeah,
now we're
man.
getting the answer to the question. There we go.
Some literature maybe you could talk about. I mean, I was a big fan of Gary Paulson growing up. All Gary Paulson books, as well as
Do you have a specific favorite?
the Hatchet series was dope.
Oh yeah, Hatchet.
He wrote a book called The Car, which was really cool.
Now also, Hatchet, the horror movie, the B horror movie. If you've ever seen that,
Not seen it.
it's if Jason was in Louisiana and had half the budget.
Yeah.
There's a scene where this chick gets her face like a electric sander like right to the jaw, and it looks so fake. It's so hilarious, but the movie is so good.
Okay, so then.
But yeah, the book's Hatchet. It has nothing to do with that.
On my answer though, I try my best to get past my own short attention span and try to consume these things sometimes.
I know Carly likes video games.
Yeah, she's a big gamer.
We talked for hours about Red Dead Redemption at a house at fucking Fannin. Like a show was going on. We were just sitting there nerding out, just like talking about fucking Red Dead.
Well, and it's a nice balance because this is my girlfriend we're talking about.
Yeah.
She's an avid gamer, knows a lot about movies, which is perfect for, again, someone like me who I've never had an attachment and didn't grow up with that. And so she'll put things in front of me and be
that
like,
she
"Sit your
enjoys
ass
it.
down,
She's able to
watch
be like,
this."
no,
And I'll
we're
be
watching
like,
this.
Okay. And then I'm like, this is fucking awesome,
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no, most definitely.
it's sick. But I wanted to bring up the Cube movies. There's 3 of them, maybe 4. The Cube.
Oh yeah, no.
Oh,
There's
so
Cube Squared,
sick.
Cube. The third one.
So good.
Yeah. Well, they're all they're
Low
four,
budget gold.
well, that if you like the Cube, you need to watch Hatchet. Like, because they fall in the same cat. If they're so low budget that they're so good.
And the Cube, I feel like, despite being low budget, like everybody pulled it off so nicely.
Oh well, also the first one actually had a little bit like what the. Also, they had a complex story before a complex story was very like that came out in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like the first one came out years ago.
This is just a guess, but when you see the sets to the first movie, it could have been filmed in one person's garage.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is this was
good.
low budget
And
on
like,
low budget.
Bro, yeah, this is cool. This is fucking badass. You know, like. Yes.
So,
get his. He might actually.
See, TV shows, honestly, I like old school, Adult Swim.
Oh yes. I swear to God, I hope that HBO buys Adult Swim and then they give Brandon Smalls the rights back to fucking that. Well, it's HBO buys Adult Swim, puts all their stuff on there, and then it's just like, hey, Brandon Smalls, continue Metalocalypse. Here's a budget. Make it the way you want. Cause, oh my god. Also, Ed and Eddie, fucking
well, that was Cartoon Network.
One of my favorites was
wasn't
Aqua Teen Hunger Force, and
Adult Swim was like Dragon Ball Z and shit.
Yeah, Aqua Teen Hunger Force was great.
Well, okay,
I love that.
so Adult Swim and Cartoon Network are the same company.
Right, but
The branding is about adult content.
Yes.
That is literally what that is about. It's literally like saying, Anheuser-Busch and Miller, or Anheuser-Busch and Budweiser are the different company. Yes, technically.
first of all, no one says that.
But you're right. But my point is that Adult Swim and Cartoon Network are the same company.
Yeah,
That's why I
but you
lump them in the
don't
same
find
together.
Ed and Eddie on Adult Swim. Is the point I'm making?
I can see.
But there's like C-Lab 2021.
Yeah!
Yeah.
Fucking Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Robot Chicken,
Robot
dude.
Yes! Robot Chicken is
Wow.
Why
Classic.
now here's the real question
Fall
of the
asleep
day.
on the couch.
Why the fuck do we not have
That
Celebrity
intro.
Deathmatch anymore?
Celebrity Deathmatch.
Why does that not
Holy shit.
exist?
I forgot about that show.
Oh my god.
That was crazy.
So any
Oh, hi.
hi Jack.
Hi.
I was just do you guys know where my dad is?
Either outside smoking a cigarette or probably upstairs in the bathroom.
Okay, you know what?
One of the two.
I think he's going to the bathroom.
That was Jack Coleman, the resident child of the house. He is 8 and likes playing YouTube.
Nice.
And he likes watching YouTube and also playing video games. I meant playing video games and watching YouTube. It's like, that's all we were
I
saying.
can relate to the
No,
kid.
I was saying like he's not in the bathroom.
That means he's outside smoking a cigarette, bud. So,
I'll find them.
what would you say, or what other jobs have you had other than being a musician?
God.
So many.
Pizza delivery driver is a big one for me.
There you go.
Easy money, always available.
High
Yeah.
turnover rate. That's what's up.
Yeah.
I've been in the pizza game. I was actually the assistant manager for CC's. About a
Nice.
year and a half.
A lot of free pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too much
Yeah.
free pizza.
Well, I mean, it goes back to the question on The Office. It was like, do we want a lot of okay pizza or a medium amount of good pizza? A medium amount of good pizza.
Life needs balance. There's a balance to
Wait, did you
everything.
order a pizza by Alfredo or Alfredo's Pizza? It's not that important. Oh, it's important.
Dude, the spinach pizzas, man.
I'm
hungry.
favorite pizza topping. 1, 2, all on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Jalapeno.
Spinach onions.
All right, so pepperoni.
Italian sausage.
Jalapeno and pineapple.
Ooh, see, add some pepperoni to that, and I'm actually down.
That's a good
Well,
one.
well, it's
Pepperoni's
because
good one as well.
that's why I like the pepperoni jalapeno pineapple, because that is the one combo. Of
Savory,
that.
sweet, spicy,
It's
baby.
so good.
That's
'Cause
it.
the internet's like, oh no pineapple. It is good with
Fuck
that
'em.
spicy good. Aiden.
I've been really into a spinach red onion lately.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
Being classy.
Bacon, pineapple,
I like it
and
crispy, just fresh.
what is it? Bacon, pineapple, and mushroom.
Ooh. Umami.
Yeah, but I don't
Savory,
do red
maybe.
sauce though. So
Oh.
that's, I do
You get the white sauce?
Yeah, I do the white sauce.
Is
I
it-
can't.
Nothing wrong with white sauce.
thing? Is it like the acidity?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's just
But acid.
with it being red.
Yeah.
Too.
I gotta try that.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
Well, the white sauce is really fucking good.
Oh, it's
Oh,
so
no,
good.
just
I
that
love
exact
I love a
combo.
good white sauce
So
too.
good.
Oof.
Yeah.
So the question has already been brought up, but I'm gonna ask it anyways. Do you prefer writing in the studio or in the room? Obviously, I'm assuming studio. Meaning,
Not necessarily. We go back and forth. I mean, when we have afforded the opportunity to write together, we definitely take advantage of it.
Yeah.
But it's probably come more out of necessity to write in the studio, and we could do it, so it's worked out.
We all are like the peak of the like all the bands that I've seen that do studio work. Because I've seen y'all play like we played shows together. I've watched y'all play sets multiple times. I've seen y'all play live multiple times. And every time there has been a huge gap between the last time that y'all have been in the room together. Every single time. every single time. But
That's true.
every single time.
So we take pictures like quick.
Every single time it is flawless musicianship. So that is one reason that I say y'all are like literally whenever I refer to peak studio musicianship, y'all are what I refer to as the peak. Like
Thank you.
I know a lot of musicians too. Yeah, that's one reason that I say that this is a special thing is because y'all are probably my favorite band I've heard, not met, just heard in the past 10 years. Like y'all's album I have played so many fucking times out of pure enjoyment. Like I love you, Aiden, you know that. I love you, Mark, you know that. I love you, Gary, you know that. I just met you, but I fucking love you too. But I swear to God, Nick Demeron is one of the CDs that I have literally. The case of Nick Demeron has melted and is fucking destroyed and is like warped like this in my truck because it sat in my truck through so many years, so much. Now the CD is fine because it was in the CD player the whole time.
Yes. Hell yeah.
You
man.
honor us, my friend.
No, I'm not honoring you. I am telling you the fact of my past 3 years.
Thank you.
Yes.
No, it just happens to be that y'all are talented and y'all write some fucking amazing music. And I'm only fucking gushing because I'm so happy to have y'all on the podcast and being able to enjoy this shit.
Happy to be here, man.
Yeah.
So, what would you say the first instrument you played is?
French horn.
No.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, getting that bass.
Yeah, in middle school.
I was
Oh, I forgot. That was in 6th grade?
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. Because we had math class 6th grade together.
I played trumpet back in 5th and 6th grade, so I understand.
This motherfucker rips on the French horn.
Give me those 3 keys.
Pick me up for your next gig.
It was guitar for me, but I quit guitar for like years. I got one when
How
I
old
was a
were you
kid.
when you started?
I don't know. I was probably like 8 or something, somewhere around that
So you started
age.
and then stopped?
Yeah, I started. I took a few lessons, and I was like, "Not for me." And then like sold it literally to buy a video game. It was actually I bought Destroy All Humans,
Oh, good game.
which was good. But I also bought Splinter Cell for the Nintendo DS, which was just an abomination. It was terrible.
It was a great
Anyways,
game series.
Not the DS
But not
one.
for the DS.
That's right.
The DS.
Woo, that was bad. But yeah, it was guitar. Quit guitar. Pick guitar back up years later.
Do you play anything else?
Yeah, I play piano and drums. I'm not very
When did you
good
learn
at
piano?
drums. I started learning piano freshman year of high school, and drums right around the same time. And I sing too, and I studied a lot. I was in a lot of different ensembles in college, so I just tried to do a little bit of everything. Yeah, that's me.
Drums.
Does drums?
That's it, baby.
I've seen him rip on the guitar.
I mean, in your case, it's like once you find it, you got it. Why fuck with anything else? Like,
Exactly.
The guy does it pretty well.
I mean, so this is something I can. You can actually watch season 1 and season 2 and verify what I'm about to say. You are literally the best drummer I ever have to reference that I know, like, at all. And I know a lot of fucking musicians, but Aiden, like, you are the, like, as I have said.
Don't say the machine.
No. I have, as I can go back and we talked about Aiden or Ivan hiring you as his drummer. I referred in detail as you being a drum machine incarnate. It was you are a
Not
flesh.
inaccurate.
It's just what do you play? So it makes sense. Like, dude, you are probably the best drummer that I've ever met, and that includes all the famous drummers I know. So like that's not me trying to make you feel good. That's me stating facts as a fan.
Thanks, man.
So what about you? What was the first time? You're killing on bass. Did you start on anything else? Like keyboard usually helps for bass. And stuff like that.
I actually originally started playing guitar. Like
how old were you?
My dad bought me my first guitar when I was 2. It was originally supposed to be his guitar. It was a 1998 Mexican Fender Stratocaster. So it wasn't the best, but it wasn't the worst ones.
You're 2.
So it was actually for him, but he ended up giving it to me for my birthday, and then like I carried that thing around with me like a fucking blankie. And I eventually, I used to actually play guitar like laid out on my lap and like
lap style. Yeah, I got you.
And I did that until I was like probably 6 or 7, and then I one day just thought, maybe I should.
There we go.
And so so I flipped it up and started learning, and I kind of just always taught myself by ear, anything I heard, and then just stuck with guitar. And then I was also pretty well rounded because my dad, he was the musician of the house, and like he named me lyric, and so I always had access to pretty much anything. Instrument wise, so
Is that your like on your license name?
Yeah, it's my biological name.
Well, I only know one.
name.
Well, I know one other lyric, and that is a child that's like this tall. So that's why I'm asking is it with a K or a C?
It's with a C.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the child is with a K. So really, you're the only lyric with a C that I know.
Yeah, I've never met another lyric. I've only heard of them. So.
Only met one other. Well, it was something I was curious. As a guy who throughout my teens and my early 20s went by Bobo, like
shit, I'm gonna call you that now.
No, sir, you will not.
Yes, I am, Bobo.
You do not have the right. I'm sorry. Like
I respect
love
that.
you. I love you to death, but there's a. If I hear somebody say the terms "Yo Bobo," I have to look over and there has to be a select person. Now it's okay people knowing about it, but it's just one of those like if I look over and see, I'm gonna be like ignore you, and you're gonna be like, Bobo, Jared. As soon as you say Jared, I'm gonna look at you and be like, I know you said it.
I can weasel my way into that group.
No,
That's a rough.
You were not born and raised in Gainesville, Texas,
That's
bro.
okay, I'll work.
No. You have not dodged nearly enough meth to be able to call me that.
You don't know me, Jared.
I'm from Bama.
That's right.
And unfortunately, half the people that I know that fucking call me that did not dodge the meth. They hit it like a fucking. It's like if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. They couldn't dodge either.
Couldn't dodge the meth either.
I'll take that.
That's part of the reason that I don't let people call me that anymore. It's just like, I ain't that person no more. But yeah, so I know a lot of people who have heavily adopted a name that was like that basically became a legal name. And whenever they said that, because I knew like one other person in Denton also that was named by lyric, but I was just that was something I was curious about whether or not you were like that was your like birth name, because that's a fucking dope name.
Thank you.
Now you're like obligated to be a badass musician.
That pretty much. I pretty much took it.
Also, if you ever meet somebody brand new, you should just be like, "Oh no, I don't play any instruments. Do you sing? Nah, I can't keep a beat." Just fuck with them. Just for that. They'd be like, "Wait, really?" Right.
Yeah, no, my dad, he was the musician, so like I said, he pretty much had everything around the house, so I know how to play piano, and I know how to play drums. And then around the age of 12 or 13, one of those years, my mom is the one that actually introduced me to my favorite band, Primus. And Les Claypool, when I first realized that was a bass player, playing, I blew my fucking mind. So from that point on, I was like, I want to be a fucking bass player, you know. So
I've always said that there's two kinds of bass players that you're gonna meet. There's bass players and there's guitarists who couldn't play guitar. Like it's really like there's people who like understand like there's a value to that low frequency, that spectrum of sound, and like you can do so much with it because it's like if it's there, it's there. If it's not there, it's not. And it's kind of like the space in between the notes. As a drummer, you get that. It's like sometimes it's like not when you hit, it's like when I don't hit. That's really important. Just like with bass, it's like all right, well. Make him be like, oh, that thick. Where the fuck did it go? There it is. Yeah. Like it's such an important thing. And you're right. Les Claypool. I say it like I know the fucker. I don't fucking. But Les Claypool is such a talented individual on like the concept of taking it as an instrument and having fun with it. Which realistically, that's one thing that everybody in this room, including me, which I can say confidently, 100% knows is that. The best part about making music is making music that you enjoy and having fun with it. And being in a room with a group of people you have fun being around and making some noise that you like playing. Yep. Like, I didn't get to play a note today with y'all, but today I got to have so much fun watching y'all jam. It's like being part of just the process of the aspect of this kind of like not everybody has the skill, and it's kind of fucking wonderful whenever you realize it. Oh yeah, we're badass.
Well, you witnessed the first day of the new Malconstruct era.
Yes, sir.
Yes. I am aware. And right, believe me, I'm excited and well, one thing I know as soon as these cameras go off, which we still have one more section, but as soon as these cameras go off, I get to hear the new Malconstruct. You told me. So, we are about to go to song 3. What is song 3?
The Hunter. And that one was one off our first album, actually. We wrote that one in high school. And it was a fun one. Like, we kind of just wrote it kind of off the cuff as far as like the instrumental goes. Typically how our songs will go, we'll write the instrumental and then I'll come in and do vocals over top of it. So we had this like cool song, we're like, what should we write it about? And like me and Mark were talking a lot, we're like, dude, we've been playing this game Dead Space. Like,
oh god, yes!
Let's write it about that.
Yep. So
that game is so good!
So we wrote the song and all the lyrics based off of that, and it just fit.
Yep.
So it's definitely like one of my favorites off the first album to play.
Yes.
It's easy, but it hits hard and
it's catchy.
Yeah.
All right, so we are about to listen to The Hunter. You are still listening to Malconstruct. Welcome back to Audio Carnage Podcast. You're listening to Malconstruct. You just heard The Hunter. So, guys, what was the first album that you can remember listening to on repeat? Like, and I'm talking look deep. My viewers have heard me say this multiple times, but the one that I'm talking Dig So Deep. The one I refer to is Space Jam soundtrack. Fucking what I Believe I Can Fly.
I got you.
Fucking step into a Space Jam kind of. But like I got a cassette player and that. But like, what's the first one that you can remember like burning fucking the disc out?
The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask soundtrack.
You bought the actual soundtrack?
Damn straight.
God damn, that's actually cool. Like, it's a good soundtrack.
Yeah, I listened to that. It was kind of funny because it was gifted to me with my CD player from my grandpa, because he was the one that showed me those games, and yeah, I just like listened to it over and over.
That's dope. That's actually like you're the first person who's ever given me like that kind of like real deep history. Most people are like, oh yeah, and like Guns N' Roses or something. It's like, but like those real deep cuts are fun ones. But Legends of Majora's Mask had like real producers making some decent music on it.
Yeah, I forget your grandpa was a gamer. That's like such a cool plug to get some interesting music, and that's super young. Just so cool.
Mark, what about you?
I think the first one I really remember playing repeatedly was Mesmerized by System of a Down.
Ah, yeah, good album.
That's a favorite.
Did you have it on cassette or CD?
CD, I think. Okay. Yeah, but yeah, absolutely.
Am I the only one that's old enough to have owned cassettes?
You did not own a cassette.
I had some growing up. But
I had a couple.
I
own
vinyls
and cassettes though.
Yeah.
Well, like I buy a vinyl, but that's because there's a legitimate audio difference between vinyl and digital, because there's physical representation of how you like these grooves in the actual thing are microscopic grooves. There's creating it like it's a actual like you have to mix it differently. So there's a sound that comes with vinyl that you can't change. And I'm not somebody who's like, oh, you have to listen on vinyl. I love digital copies, but like I do love a vinyl soundtrack with a analog system, which is what we have in here for records. It's just it sounds so good, but it's like pick your best fucking album. Symbolic by fucking Death. Take the vinyl and then take the fucking digital. They sound different. The vinyl has a sweeter, warm sound, but like digital's fucking wonderful. So back to the first album you've listened onto repeat. So I know you got Mark's.
It's a tie between two albums that I burnt out at the exact same time. Couldn't stop listening to, and it's kind of fun because one of them is Hypnotized by System of a Down.
Yeah, great album. Great album.
Mesmerized and Hypnotized were a dual album or whatever.
Yeah.
A double album that they
they basically like had a lot of songs in the studio and they just like, let's do two.
We'll do two, and I loved Hypnotized. And then the other one was Hybrid Theory by
Linkin Park. Hold on.
Yes, sir.
There it is.
You know what we're doing here.
Yeah. It's not up on the wall, but I fucking. That's like a. In the death metal fandom that I have for a band, that's one like I refer to as a guilty pleasure, but I'm not guilty about it at all. I'm like, oh god, no, that like Mike Shinoda's a great lyricist. Fucking, there's great guitar parts on that track, great drum parts, so many things about that fucking album are so good.
I thought they blended the electronic elements super well too, and it was just like, it was smooth. It was a cool album, man.
I guess I would refer to it as a non-guilty pleasure. It's like a guilty pleasure that I'm not ashamed about.
I have two. I can think of two off the top of my head. The first one is it's a Les Claypool album, but it's called Les Claypool and the Holy Mackerel Presents Highball with the Devil.
Okay.
That album, it's literally Les Claypool's first solo album. So it's his first solo album that he ever had aside from Primus and everything. It came out in '94, and
most of it is just him. There's a couple of guests on it, but a lot of it is just him, and it's just got I don't know, there's just a certain creativity to it, because there's no other elements in there except the handful of guests he has play some parts. It's mostly just all Les Claypool. You know what I mean? And the songs are structured really well, and the lyrics, most of his lyrics he just relies off of early childhood memories and shit, like going to high school.
Yeah, it's very personal now.
Yeah, it really is. But I always listen to that one because there's a bunch of badass fucking tracks on there. And then another one I can think of is it's actually a Buckethead album.
Oh yeah, well I mean those two kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Dude, I can't believe we haven't had a Buckethead Les Claypool on bass, fucking Buckethead on guitar.
We have.
Like how we have?
We have.
How?
It's called Colonel Claypool's Bucket of Bernie Brains.
All right, I'm gonna have to check that out. Because that is
a real
like
thing.
that's a that just seems so perfect to it.
That's almost the idea that I have for this thing. Me and you are doing the 17th.
Yeah.
That's almost the idea that I have for it. Like rhythm section.
What are y'all doing the 17th?
He's coming into town. It's actually a benefit for my sister, my stepdad. At the time, he said he wanted to throw this benefit for his daughter for a college fund, basically, because she's in college and it would just help her.
Yeah, any help. American college is expensive. Any help helps.
We can all agree on that. So it's he basically wanted us to
# fuck all the isms. Capitalism, communism, socialism. They shouldn't exist. None of them. Fuck anybody who says those terms. So, college is expensive.
Yes, college is expensive. So we're putting on a benefit for that he was not able to do himself, unfortunately, because he had passed.
Sorry to hear that.
Thanks. It's okay. We're pretty much doing this in honor of him and for his daughter. But yeah, it'll be a good jam, man. We got me and him opening the show with a local guitarist. His name is James Norton. He's one of those Yingwei Malmsteen guys.
Oh yeah.
So,
what are y'all gonna be playing?
At the Haltom.
What are y'all gonna be playing?
It's
improv.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
just
improv.
jamming?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Nice.
Oh, what day?
April 17th. It's a Saturday, I believe.
I'll make sure to come out.
Yeah, that'd be cool as shit, man.
Man, no, Haltom's always a fucking wonderful venue.
Yeah, man, and the food.
Oh yeah, no, they have really good food, decent prices on beer. Like that's a good spot. They are really doing good things for the venues.
Yeah, and we're doing the
venue doing good things for the band.
Yeah, we're doing the $5 measly thing too. So it's $5 measly to get in.
I mean, I think the most expensive time I've ever went to Haltom was like $12. So yeah, it's never that expensive.
Not too bad.
Yeah, and of course, all proceeds go to my stepsister for the fund.
Which is always, especially like whenever you go through the loss, but like college and nothing should cost that much, but like all we can do in the system that we're living in is try to pull together.
Yeah.
Like try to work together, try to fix things. And also, whenever we're able to make things that are fun, like, concert for fucking a good cause is a wonderful thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, what would you say is your favorite of your own songs to play? I know that this might narrow down because this is the first time you got to play with Malconstruct. But I mean, you honestly you do have played multiple ones in practice. Which would you say your favorite Malconstruct tune to play is? Actually, we're gonna start with you.
Start with me, okay. Honestly, from what I've played today, probably The Hunter. It's because I've actually heard that song a long time ago, and so I've known about like I said,
y'all act like y'all aren't fucking established.
We've been doing it a little bit.
like, hey, it's easy to hang out with y'all and like be relaxed around y'all because I love y'all like individually and personally. But like realistically, yet I swear to God, y'all are my favorite band I've heard in the past 10 years. Like, y'all are so talented. So it doesn't surprise me that he heard the Hunter way before working with him.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, it's just like I remember it from a long time ago, and like I said, speaking from this set list that we played today, the Hunter is probably my favorite.
Nice.
The second is definitely Elegy.
what about songs that are like personal to you outside of Malconstruct?
One song that comes to mind is probably it's a Warbeast song. I actually pretty much wrote the whole thing from beginning to end. It's called Conjuration with the Devil. It's actually the one that was played the most. Like, you go to Spotify, it's actually from.
So I was about to ask can we find it by going to Warbeast Conjuring the Devil?
Yeah. It's on YouTube, it's on Spotify, it's on all platforms. So is the other two albums as well, but you can find Enter the Arena on pretty much every major platform.
Aiden, what about you? What's your favorite song to play?
Malconstruct song. I really like Detorum, but I also fuck it up a lot. It's hard.
None of y'all shit seems even remotely easy.
So I guess that's one thing to come across is just none of it's necessarily easy to play. It's just particular. It's not like the most blazingly fast thing ever, but that's where we want to play very accurately, and it becomes difficult. But Detorum's way up there. And then Elegy of Illumination, that song, or actually Silva Umbre Part 1.
Oh, that's a fun yes.
My favorite song we've written.
This is
so
my favorite
far.
part about having a favorite band in here. Because all these songs are like, oh yes, I know these. I know these.
Garrett's like pitched screams on the tremolo parts, the breakdown at the end. It's just like every time I play that song live, I hit so hard. I'm like, I check my cymbals and heads after every set that it's in, because I'm like, I probably broke something.
One of my favorite parts about y'all's band is the fact that the vocals that are on the album and that come out live are coming from this very relaxed, calm, passive, like
Quiet.
one of the most chill motherfuckers. It's like it's just like, hey Garrett. Hey Garrett, you brought a new song? Yeah, check this out. It's like, Garrett, that's crazy. Thanks. It's just like fucking insane. the variety. Oh, alright, Mark, what about yourself?
Stone Shadow.
Stone Shadow.
So fucking fun on guitar, man. I love that one.
I just want to hear the new album. I'm gonna be honest, like, as a fan, I swear to God, hurry the fuck up. Now, take your time, but as a producer, take your time. But as a fan, hurry the fuck up.
Look at it. Mine's probably, oh man, it's either Throne of Deformity or Manic Obsession.
Ooh,
Manic Obsession is Sam's favorite song, and it is a killer tune.
I'm gonna do a drum play through that for that really soon. Nice. It's just taking me forever to put it together.
So, you can open up for any band, what would it be? Rapid fire.
Viljarta. Period.
Gojira.
Ooh, yeah.
Up there.
King Crimson.
Nice.
Alright, rapid fire. What musicians do you admire?
Travis Orban.
Orville Peck.
Les Claypool, Buckethead.
Daniel Bergstrand.
Alright, do you have any family members who played music? Or who played an instrument? Inspirational family members who made music? Or was this something that was outside of family?
My uncle gave me my first drum set, so big pointer there.
So definitely uncle.
My mom played clarinet, and my dad can sight read like a beast and can't play any instruments.
No, goddamn.
He can sight read piano.
That's a
and he
crazy
can sight
combo.
read guitar, but he has such bad timing that it's like not in the mix.
Wow.
but he can sight read. And so he has all these instruments, and there's just sheet music stuck in front of every instrument. And if he's super bored, he'll just sit down and just like go through it, and that's really it. And he might go through a piece more than once, so he'll get faster. But it's kind of bizarre. He doesn't consider himself a musician at all.
Oh, interesting.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, my dad, he played guitar. He was in his original band called FOM. My grandma played piano, and my uncle actually plays bass.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
We got
uncle,
some good uncles going on here.
my uncle Jerry's a really great organist. He's been playing for decades. He's, I think, really one of the only other musicians in my family.
I don't think I had too many musicians in my family. I know I had some cousins that were probably closer to my dad's age that played in a band for a while, and I have some cousins that play in a metal band too. But no like direct descendants really that play music. So it's always like been extended family that's been involved in music. Nothing directly. So I was kind of like the first in the immediate family to start doing like music as like a main hobby.
Then also one could say profession at this point. So
One would
we
hope.
right. So we are at the end of the podcast. So guys, thank you so much for coming to the sessions and putting forth the energy and having fun. And yeah, I appreciate you coming all this way because I know you all have a distance to travel. And also, more importantly, like as a fan, like thank you for like making the music you do and enjoying it. So I have two last questions.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, and honestly, I want to have y'all again. I want to have y'all for the next fucking. Once y'all get the new album out, like I want to have y'all for the fucking new material. So, absolutely. So I have two more questions, and the first one is, what is the worst gig that you have ever played?
Our first gig is so
Hey guys, just wait until the last.
This is
The last question makes this question look easy. I swear.
Yeah. The reason we do it.
Oh no, you're gonna understand once it happens.
Is the first gig was so bad that we said this will never happen again.
Where was it? What year? What happened? Y'all were in high school, obviously.
Andy's.
Yeah.
Andy's.
And yeah, man, that was Andy's a really nice venue
So,
these days.
is this a collective?
But-
like all three agree that this
we
was
were
the worst
all
gig?
mad.
Like,
I was probably the most
all
mad,
collectively
but
agreed the worst gig you've
not
ever played.
happy. We're not happy. with
Not
ourselves.
as a band, personal.
We
worst
tried
gig
to
you've
ask
ever played.
Aiden if he wanted to hang out afterward. We're like, do you want to come? Like, we were gonna swing. He goes, no, and fucking drives off.
Dude, I went straight to bed. Like, I finished playing, packed up, and went straight home. I was like, I'm going to sleep.
So what
I'm
was
getting
wrong
old.
about it?
Just train wrecked the song.
Like, yeah,
classic.
just didn't work out as a collective.
I'll do my best to tell the story clean, but we had a different vocalist at the time. Before Garrett really did vocals for this band, we toyed with the idea of finding like a dedicated vocalist because
That makes
Garrett and I write a lot of the instrumentals.
Yeah, complicated parts. So.
Right, so we were just like, oh, find
Save
a
you time.
vocalist, right? So we find this vocalist. Nice enough guy.
Okay, so the vocalist was the issue. Got you.
I mean, our performance is not good either, but the vocalist was especially bad, and I remember right before the show, he would always tell us, he's like, I'll never smoke weed and play because I can't. Like, I can't do that. And we're like, okay, that's great. Like, you know your limits, like, please stick to that. First gig, I'm like carpooling with him he drove himself, but somebody that met us at the venue, we're like seeing some friends and things, hey, great to see you, blah, blah, blah. You know, homie's like, let's go smoke some weed, and this dude's like, yeah, and I'm like, you just told me, like, you can't get high and play, and he's just like, no, I'm gonna smoke like a little bit, you know, and so, mistake number one, because he comes back like 5 minutes later, and he's like grabbing on, he's like, bro, I can't do this, and I'm like, we're about to play in front of nobody, like, There were some people there,
But it's just like,
but it was just like it's
like how do you not do
this?
this?
Before the set. This is like before anything has even happened yet. So I'm like, oh fuck! And it was our first experience playing to a backing track because our first album's covered in like synths.
Yeah.
Fucking, like,
There's extra
horns.
vocals and shit.
And so we had it all planned out because we wanted Malconstruct to be cool. So we were like, we had the backing tracks ready, we had everything ready to go. Vocalist's kind of giving us this trouble. We're worried about him, but we're also like, yeah, we're prepared, right? Backing tracks are a train wreck. You know, you miss one click and shit. And then the vocalist is just bombing, dude. And he's like bombing so bad that we're just like, we're gonna break up. Like we're not gonna be.
It's like, it's done. We're done.
It was that bad.
Yeah, this is horrible.
Like, I'm kind of thinking about going home and shoot myself in the back of the head.
I broke a cymbal because at one point there was a big one, like a big crash on the one, and I just decided to put both hands on one cymbal as like a cathartic thing, and the cymbal like exploded. So I like destroyed like a brand new cymbal too, just out of frustration playing hard. And just the worst gig we've ever played for sure. And it's never been that bad since because it was just
so like anybody like either of y'all got anything else to the top that? Nope, that was it.
That's pretty much it. I've played other bad gigs, but that was mine.
It was up there for all of us, I'd say.
My worst gig.
Hard left. No. It's grab, squeeze, hard left. There you go. This guy was good.
Wow.
That was boring. Sorry. So
I was gonna say my worst gig was probably the Cyclops gig that I had right before he filled in.
That's what I was filling in.
Honestly, it was the singer. What happened is that our drummer, we were like 13 or 15 at the time. And our drummer, like their parents, or his parents just found out like we smoked weed. And they were like, they were tripping over that. And so basically, they were like, you're not allowed to play with that band anymore. And so that was our issue at that point. And then luckily, we were doing hard copy. It was this band of like, I guess you could say it was like top 40 rock and metal hits, I guess. It was this thing that me and Bradley were doing for fun. With my dad as well, and that's when I happened to meet Aiden, and it was actually at Bradley's house when we were rehearsing for hard copy, and that's when we kind of pitched the idea like, hey, maybe Aiden can fill in for some Cyclops shows, and so that's exactly what happened. But
he's a studio drummer.
Yeah, but he's fucking fantastic live too.
Thanks, man.
Alright guys, so as we come to the ending of the podcast, so the most important question of the night and the most thought-provoking and the most one that is important for your band relationship. Fuck, marry, kill. Your own band.
Alright, I'll go first. Do I have to consider myself in this?
No, you can't. You're not allowed to kill yourself.
We all just kill ourselves.
Yes, that is the disclaimer. Fuck, marry, kill your own band. You can't kill yourself.
Alright,
also, you can't fuck or marry yourself either.
That's
you
fine.
Can't, you can't anything.
You can,
like,
but
you
I won't. So...
I don't want to hear about your fist.
Alright, you won't. And it's nothing personal. I've just met you today. I gotta kill you.
That's fair.
I'm glad you see it from my perspective.
Same with
I would
you.
definitely marry Garrett. Are you kidding?
Agreed.
Are we kidding? And I just fuck his bones dry, you know? So,
alright, Garrett.
That's it for me.
Here's the one that I'm actually curious about. Garrett, who you marrying, who you killing?
The nerd question is this.
The best kind.
He's been bamboozled.
God damn it. I can't answer.
So alright, so let's narrow it down by the most fucked up versus the least fucked up. Who you killing? Who you gonna kill in your band?
I guess it would be like either
Aiden or Mark would be the most fucked up to kill because they've been one of his friends. Right?
Sorry. Sounds like you're getting killed twice.
It's all good.
So, who you marrying out of Aiden and Mark?
Why are you doing this to us, Jared?
Who gets married?
We're playing duck game with Krishna.
Oh yeah?
Guess what?
Are you winning?
I'm not really winning, but I
Guess
won.
who's really winning real quick?
Him.
Is 15 more than 2 or
I
not? That's what
I won.
Jack.
I won 2 times by doing nothing at all, and
Jack.
then everybody else just be like,
Go keep winning. We're almost at the done. Go keep winning. We're almost finished with the interview.
Oh yeah, Jack. They're in.
Jack. Yeah, we're like this much done. All right, so
Like I'm sitting in my video.
keep going. You can't be in the room for this question.
okay. I'm not even gonna try to listen to you.
All right, so go back to this. Gary, fuck, marry, kill.
Fuck Aiden, marry Mark, kill.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. So it seems like we have a trend going. So here's actually, you know what? Fuck, marry, kill. You get to start now.
All right. Well,
I should start there.
I'd kill Mark because we just
Yes.
That's fair.
I'd probably marry Garrett because he's a
Tasty riff.
he is a very smart individual.
You know he'd be loyal.
Exactly. Yeah.
Not exactly marriage material.
Cheats are though.
I'd fuck Aiden.
Well, you might not be relationship material. Your drum beats are.
This guy's fuckable. Are you?
Fucks him
All right, Aiden. Fuck, marry, kill. Your own band.
Oh shit, this is fucked up. I've known all these people for so long. So
Put that shit on
If
us.
you kill me, I'm gonna be so pissed.
oh
I'm so
shit.
fucking mad.
Oh, right. Nice.
Man.
He walks in with the scene. Jack, thank you for fucking doing that. That is one of the. So, for those off camera, the child walked in, and after hearing that he couldn't hear what the next question was, he walked down looking for his dad with his his hands on his ears. I was like, "What are you doing?" Oh,
that's it.
I was like, "Oh my goodness, that is so adorable." All right, so Aiden.
Alright, I was trying to shake it up. I'd unfortunately have to kill Garrett because I cannot marry Garrett because Garrett is getting married, dude. And out of jealousy, because he's so smart.
You
He's
said
so
something
good looking,
there.
dude.
You gotta take out the
Yeah, so unfortunately you'd have to go. If I can't have him, no one can. And yeah, man, fuck Mark for sure. I'd probably marry Lyric because
Oh,
and then we would
Lyric.
be in like a drum and bass.
Oh, that makes sense. It's so cute.
You play at your own wedding.
Rhythm section, man.
We would play at our own wedding.
Yeah.
There wouldn't be a first dance,
that's
it'd be
how
a
that would
first
go.
jam. You know?
Yeah, instead of first dance, first jam. Yes. All right. So, what is our final song?
That is the Toro Mortis and
Mortis.
Reformation. Those are the closing songs for our second album. And like the first album, they came, after we had written everything else. So they're definitely like the last songs we wrote as far as, our ability and, songwriting choices. And probably the most sentimental, I guess, just because it's like it was a really emotional album as far as like the content and it wrapping everything up made it that much more impactful. So we definitely wanted to make it
Killers.
hit hard and be memorable. So we did our best to make it, dramatic and catchy and overall memorable of a album closer.
Yeah. Well, Nick Thimron, like I said, is probably my favorite album that I've heard in the past 10 years. So that's a honest statement. I'm not trying to,
Straight up.
Like, well, no, I'm not trying to just like make you feel good. Like that is honestly like I listen to that album at least once a week. Like it is such a good album.
Thank you.
Like, take my keys to my truck, turn on my truck, press eject, see what comes out. I'm not joking. I'm not joking one bit at all. y'all are such talented individuals, and thank you so much for coming on, guys. So we are going on to the final. Actually, y'all are getting a bonus 2 songs instead of 1 for the closer. This has been Malconstruct, guys. Thank you so much for coming on and putting forth the effort. It's been a blast. Thank you. Where can we find y'all?
I guess I.
I just turned to you.
We're active on all social media. We stay current on all platforms. Our music's available on every single platform that you can listen to music on. And we have a really sick new music video coming out for a new single. So can't wait for you guys to hear it. The new single will be called Void Walker. New EP called Simulacrum will be out hopefully sometime in May. So hopefully we'll have more exact details on our socials here soon. So,
do we have an anticipation on when Void Walker will be released?
If we can put this EP out on May 20th, I plan to put that on May 1st.
Fuck yeah. Well, I would like a signed physical release as soon as possible. So
you got it.
But guys, thank you so much for coming all this way and putting forth all the effort. It's been a blast. And this has been Audio Carnage Podcast with Malconstruct. Thank you. We are fucking out.